So another big announcement that we had at our dealer conference was a support utility app that we've been working on, and it is now actually available. We are Matthew Lisenby's been working hard putting together tutorial stuff so that we can send out a broadcast and communicate to everybody how to do it, how to get going on it, and how to benefit and leverage from this tool. It's a tool that we've used to support you guys for the last year, and it's been upgraded so that we can now associate dealer customers to dealers. And so as you're speaking with your dealer rep over the next month, and whether you reach out to them or they're reaching out to you, we're wanting to make sure everybody gets set up on it, that we get any customers that you need to transferred over assigned to you. So any of your existing customers will be handed off to you. And then Matthew's going to go into how you can benefit from this moving forward, so that all future installs are already, loaded into it. So I'll turn the time over to you, Matthew, and hope to learn something myself as well.
Try not to let you down then. I'm going to share my screen from my phone. Okay, thanks. So
Okay, we got
this
it.
dealer support app, this is a web-based app. So you're going to go to, once you put in utils.jellyfish.com, it's going to bring you to this page. Now you're going to use the same account that you use for your JF Cloud account. And as far as getting it attached to your dealership, if it hasn't been done yet, you just need to contact your account rep and let us know which email you want to use. And that will be associated with your dealership. And just logging in. Okay, so this is the view that you're going to see. I've created a pseudo admin account and a pseudo dealership. So this is how it would appear for you. You see that first is my dealership. And so we'll go through each of these and talk about them briefly and how to use them. Again, the idea is so you can associate the customers you have with your dealership and be able to service and take care of them in a variety of ways. So first, this is how you're going to set up staff. So if you go to my dealership, you see for me, I already have a few staff members set up here. What you'll do is you click on the button that says create new staff, and notice here you have a drop down. You have installer and support. So an installer will be able to create a customer which will be associated with your dealership and use that account information as they're setting up their JF Cloud account and the controller. The support person can do everything an installer can. They can also see the dealer's controller and controller logs, their schedules and zones. And look at that in a moment. So if you want to add a new installer, we just need to put in the address. And then you'll hit the create button and they'll appear down here. And of course, there's a little X next to it if you need to remove somebody. Now, again, for the installer and all other members, they'll if the installer logs in, they'll only be able to see the bottom option of that customer account setup. So I'm going to look at that right now. If we go down and click on customer account setup, we see I've got a couple customers here in the email list. Now, be aware that this list is just going to automatically rotate. As you add customers on, it'll only hold like, I think, five. And if you get, to a six, it'll just move one off. It doesn't mean it disassociated it from your dealership. It's just not going to show up in this list on this page. You'll still be able to find them elsewhere. So for us, we want to create a customer. We need to tap on the account email. And I'm going to actually go ahead and create a customer here. We can see what that looks like. Customer 07. And then I'm going to just tap on create customer. So we have the success Now you see it populated into that list down there. At this point, your customer, if you're at their home, you got whatever email address they want to use for their account. They're not seeing any of this. They haven't had any email or anything sent to them. This just comes up into your list. And it's always going to use a generic password. So what you do, the next step is you can tap on the copy icon and it will copy the customer email address there. So then I would hop over to the JF Cloud app, and I'll need to log out of the account I'm in and tap on login. And of course, we're going to put in the new email address. So we can just paste that. Now, if we want, we can remember the generic password or just slide back over to UTILS, and that little lock icon actually will copy the password. Tap that, come back over, paste in the password, and that generic password. So now I can log in, and this customer account is now created, and we can go and set up the controller on Wi-Fi, set up all the zones for the customer in here, and now it's primed and ready to pass on to the customer. So once you go through that whole setup process, you return to the utils. Now, if you just tap click complete installation, nothing's going to happen. You need to re-highlight the email of the customer that you're working on right then. So I'm going to tap on the latest one. Now I can hit complete installation and it's going to go through that. We had success. Now what happens is an email is going to be sent to the customer. So I come into my emails. You see here, I got this no reply, jellyfish sliding account information. So this is what the customer will receive. And they're going to have a temporary password and be prompted to log into that app. And when they change their password, then they're going to take over, that cloud account. But this way, it's a little less intrusive on getting the whole, controller set up for them, not needing to, figure out what password they want to use and have them help them change it or get on their phone. You can do this all from your phone, tablet, or whatever you're using in the field, get them set up and then hand it off. Now, I will go ahead and hop out just a moment to show you something that's in process here. I didn't leave that, sorry. Let's go to our dealer hub. On the dealer hub, if you tap on the menu down here under support, we've added the how to use utils. It's not completely fleshed out. There's going to be more tutorials coming. If you tap on it now, it at least has the video and a PDF on that process for adding the customer account. And just an FYI, if you want to use the video, if you actually tap to watch it on YouTube, you can then watch it full screen. It'll take you step by step everything that we just did. Remember that, because if you just watch it on the web page, obviously it's going to be tiny. There also, we've added a page on how to add a controller set up on Wi-Fi. Most of you are probably proficient at this, but if you have a new installer or you're become a new dealer, this is a place to go to have those step-by-step tutorials. And our engineering team is actually working on hopefully a more elegant way to get the controller set up on Wi-Fi. So this could change in the near future, but for now that resource is available. I want to return to the JF utilities and just touch on the other things available to you. You see we have controller search and user directory. Now, user directory is essentially your customer directory. Use that you can search by email if you have the customer's email, and it will show up. You can only see the customers that are associated with you. So the ones that you've set up in the JF Utilities app, what we just did, Or if you had a list of customers you've installed in the past and you give that list to your account manager, we can add them for you. In the controller search, you have two options. You can search by host name, and that is the last four alphanumeric digits of the serial or MAC address on the controller. And the controller is if you know the controller name. So in this case, like here sitting next to me, mine's 894A. The reason I'm able to find this controller is because this customer account has been associated with my dealership. And if it's more convenient to search by the controller, I can do that. I can tap copy to get that email address. I can come to the user directory again to look up customers. So I can search is going to bring up any customer that's associated with me. If I copied from the previous controller search, I can paste that. We'll find the customer. Okay. And you can see that top customer listed is the one we just created. That Matthew BL plus Custo 7. But here, the only customer I have here, because these are all made up accounts, with a controller associated with it is customer 3. So I can tap on that one and it brings me into this profile. And from here is now where I can see what events they have set up, patterns or zones. And so this is helpful. You can, it hasn't changed, you can set up or preview their events and help update those for the customer if they want you to. If I click on the controllers, it'll give me the controller that's associated with the account. So that's the controller name. Under actions, we can look at controller logs, system logs, and delete the controller. So this is helpful if you have a customer that's moved and a new homeowner has moved in. We can remove the controller from the previous customer's account, and then we'll be able to associate it with the new homeowners. On the controller logs, you tap it, and it's going to show you different events that have happened. Now, this is helpful if maybe you're doing some troubleshooting. You can particularly isolate whether you want on-off or connections. So if their Wi-Fi network or local network is being intermittent, you can see how frequently it's being disconnected. So to see some disconnections and reconnections is typical. It's not alarming unless you're seeing multiple on the same day close together. Also, if there's long periods of time. Of course, there'll be one if there's a power outage and the network's down for a while. But if you're seeing many connection disruptions, then you'll need to troubleshoot and probably look at, is there communication problems with the network? Is their network having issues? Is it the controllers not being able to get a consistent enough signal? What's changed? That's one way to utilize this. I'll go ahead and click on events. You can see I got the schedule for some daily ons and off. You obviously can tap on the little pencil symbol and we can edit from here. This obviously would be helpful if you got a customer that's not quite proficient or confused for whatever reason with the app, remotely, you can help them without having to be on site necessarily. Patterns is more of curiosity. I don't know how we can really leverage this right now, but you can see what patterns are available. And then zones. For some reason, the customer's like, oh, I've got problems, nothing's working. You can log on here, check out the controller, and maybe they accidentally deleted all the zones. You can't zone from this app, but at least let you know that's what the issue is. And you can be more specific and quick to giving the service when you get out there. So, what questions might anyone have about this app or any input from other managers or Jeff?
So real quick, I want to point out that it has been a top feature request to add zoning capability. So that is something we're working on. And we don't have a timeline on it, but Jonathan is actively working on building in the ability to zone your system, and then also the ability to turn on and off patterns as though you would from the cloud app. So the idea is that you should never need to log into a customer's account through the regular app once you've initially set it up. The hope is that long term we can always just use this and access and do any kind of support related functions. We will be continually building this out, step by step, of course, but it's come a long way since they initially introduced it to us, and what we're able to do with it. And now that we can deploy it to all of you guys, this is a huge milestone for us, and I am very, very excited for it.
I would also like to add, some of the dealers here were around when they did the remote access on an older version of the cloud app, the very first version of the cloud app, and it was not reliable. I would say there were more instances of not being able to connect than being able to connect. I have never had a problem with this app being able to be reliable with its connectivity, and what I've been able to do and see, even with the limited ability to edit on somebody's account. This has been an extremely reliable app, and I think going forward, as dealers use it and make it a priority to utilize it, you're going to be very, very pleased with the capabilities you have with this.